This is the first time we're getting Corvette.
What? The funny thing about this particular car is they're very common in stock, form, but this one is one of 7 Pratt & Miller Corvettes that were modified by Pratt & Miller, the factory race team for GM for the Corvette program. I was really lucky to pick this one up at auction for about what it would have sold for, maybe a little bit less, for just the cost of converting it into what it is now. So, you see something like that and you're like, wow. You put it out there and you say, maybe I will get one day, and then you have those goals you look for. And, got that one like literally this year.
Hey, partner. Hey, how's it
Jeff
going?
Mosing?
Yes, sir.
No way. Let's go. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Ready to go have some fun?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Welcome back, everybody. We're back with a new episode of Cars with Carlson, and today we got a legend in the automotive industry, Mr. Jeff Mosing with Mosing Motor Cars. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah. The second he walked in the door, I was like, who's this guy? Where did he get his energy from? So let me ask you this, Jeff. What's got you lit up today? What's going on in your world?
Oh, well, really, every year, of course, they have Pebble Beach, and I know you're heading that way too. So we're getting some things ready to go for there. So I'm really looking forward to that. Weekends have always been something to look forward to with typical car gatherings here in Texas. There's always something somewhere within a 50-mile radius, and if you feel like venturing off more than that, have a trip to Houston or whatever. There's car shows and car gatherings there too. Yeah. So there's always something car related to do. So I always look forward to the weekend to kind of decompress and do something like that.
And have you always loved cars, or is this like a new past 10-year thing for you? Where did this all start?
No, it started at a very young age, and it may have dwindled out a bit through different phases of life, but it always tended to circle back into my life one way or the other. So, and I've always embraced it. Probably about 4 or 5 years old, growing up with 3 other brothers and a sister, and my sister was actually kind of into cars too. At one point, I remember every one of them had an F body. I think I was probably 6 or 7, and a couple of brothers had Z28s or Trans Ams. My sister had a Rally Sport. My brother had a Camaro SS. So always been around them, from hanging out with all of them. And it was kind of a neat thing as a family too. My oldest brother and I think we're more connected through that car, connection, more than any other ones. He let me help out as much as I could as a 4, or 5-year-old to restore a 1953 MGTD.
Were you the youngest?
I was the baby out of the family. I was with caboose.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. I may have started in the back, but I finished up front.
There you go. Tell.
But fast forward to now, it's funny. My brother Brent and I both are still involved in cars, one way or the other. He raced with me in IMSA for, I think, almost 15 years before he retired, and I retired out of the pro stuff, doing vintage racing now. So, but yeah, it's always been there. It was even present. I had gotten a train set, I think, when I was 6 years old for Christmas, and the only reason my mom didn't really, I expressed to Santa that I wanted a slot car track. I got the train set instead, but then for my birthday the following year, I got my first slot car set. And the irony of that, the really funny thing and the synchronous thing about that we were talking about earlier, the first set that I had this little Datsun 510 in it that was vaguely modeled after the BRE sedans that raced back in the 60s and 70s with Pete Brock and all those guys. And I had that as my first set, and now fast forward to now I'm vintage racing, the same exact cars. And so everything's come full circle. We just don't have to follow the slotted.
Where do you drive those? Where's your vintage races? Most
of the races that I get involved with in that series, there's a Hoosier 2.5 challenges that I run on the West Coast. Troy Ermish is my team principal with Ermish Racing. He's been modifying and racing the 510s for a good while now, I think almost 20 years. And a couple of friends of mine actually that I raced with professionally got into that series and into the vintage racing, and I was about ready to put the into the pro stuff, and it was, you can't stop racing ever. It's just, you just got to take on a different form. And so the vintage racing has been a little bit easier on my back compared to the Porsche Carrera, Cup Series. Those cars are tremendous animals and produce enormous amounts of grip and require a good bit of physicality to drive them. So the 510s are a lot of fun at a lot slower, safer speeds. But it's a good all around.
Is there racing seats in 510s?
Yeah. I mean, they get prepared for, same way they would any race car. We have, the racing setups, racing seat, removable steering wheel, the whole bit. We build the cars very similar to how they would have been raced back in the day. And then I have one that was literally ran back in the 60s and 70s in Trans Am and in the different B sedan series. Back then, that car would be invited to like the Rolex this week. My friend Ara and Tim Probert, they'll be racing there in the vintage race at the Rolex. So I'll be out there watching them. Hopefully we'll get the car in there next year.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome. Yeah, next year it's on.
Yeah.
And we'll be out there.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. Be like, let's go. Automotive overload, man. Yeah. Monterey Week has something for everybody. It's really cool.
So excited. It's my first time going.
Oh my God. Okay, I will tell you the one thing you don't want to do, because I did it the first year and I wore myself out doing it. This was 11 years ago. There's so many events. From morning to sunset, there's different car shows, there's different car gatherings, there's different drives that people go on, rallies and stuff. All of this leading up to the Quail and the Concours on Pebble Beach, and then also the different auctions that take place on the peninsula the whole weekend. There's just, I try to resist the temptation of looking at the catalogs, but they send them to you in the mail and they're so pretty and they got all the cars in it, and you just want to get in there and look. And I'm already dreaming about this, a couple of things that I may try to grab on the way, when we get over there. So we'll see what happens.
Wow. So when you go over there and you're looking at these cars and you scope them out beforehand.
Yeah, typically, that's what's nice is, going and actually putting your hands on them and even hopefully getting to meet the previous owner. A lot of times these cars go to auction and you don't really get to talk to the person who's behind the wheel of it. And I would prefer to actually talk to that individual and see, and be honest and tell me, hey, what does the car need? What is, what's good about it? What's bad about it? Just so we can take a good swing at it and make sure it's something that I would want, and a lot of times it's, the investment side of a car is important, but it's not something that I prioritize on. I try to get what I think I might like or want.
Because you drive your cars.
Absolutely. Everything.
You don't have anything sitting? Cardboard boxes?
No, absolutely. Well, I do. I still collect a lot of toys, and some of them are new in box, admittedly. But any of the one-to-one size stuff, yeah. My intent for everything that I've ever bought is to at least drive it and enjoy it to the extent of, have I done everything I could with this car? Like some of the four-wheel drive stuff that I buy, admittedly, I've never, taken out on any of the trails. We have great trails out here in the hill country.
Yeah, those four-wheel drive things cost a lot of money.
Yeah, breaking stuff and getting them dirty.
Like taking a Range Rover.
Yeah,
they're so nice.
And there are some that are like cream puff type of deals and almost, making me want to swerve to miss puddles on the street, right? But I do like to have things that are a little bit more usable and that I don't have to stress too much about, where I'm going to park it in the parking lot, or, and actually have something that I can bring to a car show and enjoy, and actually get the crowd to enjoy too. Invite people, to come sit in them if they want. The kids really light up when you do that kind of stuff, and they get to enjoy the car a little bit more than just looking at it. They get to smell it. They get to feel what the interior looks like.
That's gotta be the best.
Yeah, I mean,
kids' day off.
Yeah, well, I think it's important. I think it's really important that we try to influence them, not to get too, I guess, lax about the options nowadays of transportation. I mean, I think even the e-bikes are discouraging people to pedal bikes now, so same thing with electric cars and these autonomous cars. I'm, just not a big fan of, just because I feel like driving, we don't look at it as a privilege. And it truly is. Like, we spend so much time driving, from A to B. I mean, it took me 30 minutes to get here from my house. And, that adds up over time. From the point when you get your license, I got mine 43 years ago, and was driving a little bit before that, out on ranches or in parking lots or whatever. Maybe in the neighborhood when my parents went to a movie. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna swear.
I don't know anything about that, Jeff. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, well, sorry, Mom, but yes, I did take your Cadillac Eldorado around the neighborhood when I was 12. But all those memories is just, I feel like, we spend so much time in the car, and why not make it something that's enjoyable? I try to show that to my friends and other loved ones, that, hey, we're going to be spending time in this car, from A to B. Let's enjoy the journey, not just the destination.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And it seems to me it's safe to say that you are fully immersed in the car scene. For example, Mosing Motors, right? You're even going to be a judge at what's called the Lemon what?
It's the Concord de Lemons.
Lemon.
Tim Suttard and Tom with Grassroots Motorsports and Classic Motorsports. They do the Concord de Lemons every year at Monterey. Again, saying all the diversity that's on the peninsula, but basically these cars are nothing like what's in here. Maybe this sitter would buy one of these cars. Actually, the cost. They have different categories. It's going to be really interesting to be there on the judging side. I've never been to one of those too, just to show you how many events are actually taking place. The first year we fill our schedule with like from 6:30, waking up at breakfast, we're figuring out which shows we're going to. By day 4, we were just burnt out. So just make sure you leave yourself, space in each day to.
It's kind of like one of those big business conferences. Those breakout sessions. You have a million to choose from. You really got to plan it. Pace it out.
Yeah.
I did download an app last week.
Right. And that's going to help. And navigating traffic is another trick. I haven't figured that one out yet, to successfully, but, and actually even, there's options to rent classic cars, there.
Cool.
So if you want to feel like one of the crowd, but you don't have anything there. There's Monterey Touring Cars was one company that I've used with Heather, and then in the past they're really they have a wonderful lineup of different cars. We're going to use a '69 Firebird converter, just a nice super cruiser, and with all the free air conditioning that they have in California. No matter, I guess that's why everybody's moving there. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Concord Lemons. Looking forward to the event at Pebble Beach. We've got, I have a 66 Nera, Lamborghini Nera that's going to go.
Naranja.
Yeah. In the Arancha orange.
Cool. That's nice.
Yeah. It was a match made in heaven. I've been looking for one for, I think, close to a decade, and going back to 10
years.
Yeah. What was influencing me on that too is going back again to my childhood and having, Hot Wheels and Matchbox. Hot Wheels was born the same year as me, 1968. Yeah.
That's cool.
And coincidentally too, recently Hot Wheels released these new line of Lego style, builds. I don't know if it was Brickworks or I'd have to go back to look, but it's a Hot Wheels deal. and they have an orange Mira that one of their feature ones that they did, and we did a release show with manual focus. They were one that was kind of focused in doing that deal with the release of all these new, brick models that are coming out. And I think that's good. Again, like that's another conduit that we can keep kids kind of interested in the cars that are fun, the cars that are worth driving. And I mean, because that Mira that I had when I was, 6 years old, it took a while to come to fruition, 50 or so years.
Was it worth the wait?
It was worth the wait. I'll say it was. I've had a wonderful rally that we did with it last year in December, the Tejas Turismo. They do a drive from Houston to Austin, and then they spend the weekend here doing drives out in the hill country. And, being on the highway and getting passed by, we were just kind of rolling with each other, and a Gullwing would zip by me, and it's like, you just don't, that's how Monterey Week is. It's so humbling to go and see all these cars actually getting driven and used. And I'm going to be so happy to be out there on the peninsula, and we're going to be doing the same thing with the Mira.
Sammy, don't let me forget to ask what car Jeff's looking forward to see the most. Yeah, Mario, we're going to ask that next, but I got to hear this question. This will be burning us out. So you said, because the Carrera, you are fully immersed now. And you said you also had ebbs and flows that you went throughout your life. What was one time period in your life to where you weren't really plugged in? What were you doing? Because go on.
I'm, raising kids will definitely, yeah, they, kids are, I love, my past, and love my fatherhood and all that stuff. I've got wonderful children, and that was great experience, but you do really, you have to figure out how to navigate doing that, and, the car related thing, and also having a partner that supports you in that too. And over the years, I've been able to find, partners that are more compatible with me, that do share a similar passion with the automobile, or even open to the idea. And now I have an 11-year-old daughter that I'm trying to, continue to push into. She's interested, but she's not really wanting to learn completely about it yet, like the manual transmission. Like, why do you have to shift this one? She starts asking all those questions.
And awesome.
Yeah, I love that she's interested. So, I don't mean to have her follow in my footsteps with the racing stuff per se, but it'd be great to see her want to go to these car events, eventually, and then participate herself, if that's what she wants. Right now she's into the cheerleading and the gymnastics and all that stuff, and I support her on that too. But over the years, yeah, just different things would come along. I moved here to Austin from Lafayette, Louisiana, originally, and yeah, I miss my hometown. I miss the people, and I miss the food. I don't miss the roads because they were flat and straight as nails and boring. And the minute you get here, it's just incredible, the saturation of really good roads that we can just go drive on at the speed limits. I mean, you really don't have to go at breakneck speeds.
Like over by Lake Travis?
Oh, it's incredible. I mean, there's some turns that are like full lock, to get around, and people know which road I'm talking about. And
Spicewood Springs.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Lime Rock, or Lime, is it Lime Creek? Lime Creek's another one, but I think they're doing some things to kind of, yeah. Just really point yourself in any direction now with, we don't need to have maps. I mean, I remember following maps, with my dad. We have the luxury of the phones now where we can point in any direction for an hour and then just, point ourselves back to where we need to go. It's, there's opportunities like that here in Texas, way more than there was in Louisiana. So, that transition here, and then, only a few years, I say relative, into living here, the announcement that there's going to be a Formula One track, getting built here. I had a friend text, like, am I living in heaven here? I mean, what's going on? Like, to have a world-class track,
15 minutes on the road.
15 minutes down the road. Yeah. And I don't know what's going to happen, the future and the subscription and everything that they have going on there. But I feel like the car community, like there's so many other, like I'm doing the vintage racing on the West Coast, and there's a lot of tracks there that weren't on our IMSA schedule, but are great club tracks, and so the vintage races are taking place there. Just 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago was, we were up in Washington State at the Pacific Raceway. And it's well known for on the drag racing side, but it's a matrix track with the drag racing, the road racing circuit built into it. And it's just, now I'm really enjoying the fun of racing, not so much the intensity of, every race weekend counting, for points. We have a points thing that we do, but I'm really just doing it for fun. And that's the best reason to do anything, just to enjoy it for what it is. Yeah.
Gotta be having fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's my whole motto, starting the Mosing Motor Cars brand, was originally about buying and selling cars, but really trying to put people into cars that they love and coming up with the colors and the logos and all that stuff. But the motto was always stuck from day one, was drive yourself happy. And actually on my GT2 RS that I have, you open the door and Porsche can do a lot of custom things when you order cars. And one of the things I get them to do that I really like to do is to have them put the slogans in the door sill. So
That's nice.
yeah, it says drive yourself happy in the door sill when you open it up. Yeah, it's pretty.
When I get 10 year first Porsche, I'm gonna get something nice like that.
Yeah,
That sounds great.
I could see her at a Target. That was the other thing. That was the other thing that I really enjoyed doing as a dealer, is to really find a car that somebody, a lot of times we would get older people that, had started to save up and invest for themselves, and they start thinking about what they missed out in high school. There was a Trans Am that I owned, and it was a 1972 or 73, a 73 Brewster green Corvette. It's such a deep green that it almost looks black, but the bird on the hood was kind of a lime green color. So a lot of people would ask, why is the bird green? And they'll see that they could see it's a dark green color. But this one guy, he called me out of the blue after about 2 or 3 months of ownership, and he's like, "Look, I just wanted to tell you how happy, it makes me get my childhood dream, and make it true, and make it come alive." And because he told me the whole deal, like one of his best friends in high school had one in that color, and he promised himself one day he would get one, and that's where I really like to see people enjoying it, like, again, having a reason to go drive somewhere, grocery store, wherever you got to go, but make it fun in the meantime.
And you talked a little bit about sentiment, right?
Mm-hmm.
That man that you helped pair with the Trans Am,
Mm-hmm.
right? He had a dream on it because of some story that happened in high school.
Right.
That's beautiful. In your history of car ownership and drive, which one do you miss the most? Or you might still have it. Which one is most touched your heart?
So, and it's funny because it actually ties Austin into my life when I was living in Lafayette. It was the mid-90s when going back even further than that, I was blessed enough that my father, for our high school graduation, everybody would get a new car, and that's the, last new car that we're going to get.
Thanks, Bob.
Really the only new car that we would get from them is whatever we wanted for graduation. And I had an easy answer. It was a 1986 Jeep CJ7. And he's like, "Nope, you can have anything else but that." I was like, damn it. Anything but Jeep. And the ironic thing about that is he let me get a 86 Mustang GT, which half of my friends literally did not wreck. I mean, totaled them. Okay. Like, I don't know why he thought that was more safe than a Jeep. It was because of all the rollover, things that they had proved about him or whatever, with evasive maneuvers. So I had to wait later in life to get my own Jeep. And I think it was 1995, and no internet, right? So if you're looking for something and, you want to widen your scope, I mean, in Louisiana, all the Jeeps were pretty much rusted out, because people were using them in the mud and stuff like that. So I needed to look outside of, the area. And Austin, Texas provided me with a 1980 CJ7 Renegade, 60,000 mile original paint, original everything, and untouched. I wanted something to modify, but not heavily, and start with a blank slate or whatever. And one of our employees at my family company, he grabbed a car trader, kind of magazine from Houston, and it listed everything in Texas. And I found this Jeep CJ7 in Austin. Flew in the morning. It was the last day that Mueller was open at the airport, and kind of on 51st Street or whatever that is. And then, looked at it, and it was popping out of second gear. I figure if I could hold it in gear, it'd be fine. I'm going to drive this thing home, and I didn't clear it with the wife first. It's always better to get permit. Yeah, for me to laugh. Yeah, for me to laugh, it's a 6-hour drive. No big deal. I left by like noon, I think, and it wasn't terribly hot, but it started shedding what was left of the roof. I mean, by the time I got to the border, I had no roof left on it. Thankfully, it wasn't a rainy day. Drove it home, basically restored it part by part over probably I'd say a 10-year period, or about a 7-year period, 7 or 8 year period. And then when we decided as a family to move to Austin, I had a dear friend of mine back in Lafayette that had always said, if you ever want to sell it, let me know. So aside from that brief history of selling it to him, I've owned that thing since 95. I mean, he had it for about a year, I think. And he called me up one day. He said, I've got grandkids now. Same thing, going back to family. Yeah. He didn't even have, and he was a little worried about driving them around in the Jeep, because again, it's one of the earlier narrow ones. Yeah. And I will say I've gotten that thing on 2 wheels and 3. I mean, like it's got a different engine now, so it's got a little bit more power than it should. Still have it. So, and the beautiful thing about it is I had a wonderful guy up in Troy, New York. He does mainly Land Rover and Land Rover restorations. And I asked him if he'd be willing to do like a ground up, thing on my Jeep, and we redid it back in the original gunmetal gray, blue stickers with the denim Levi seats. Oh. It was a Levi edition, so we went back with the seats on it.
Partnership with Levi.
Yeah, they do. Cool. The collaborations that come along, it's pretty interesting, and historically what was actually available, to make cars a little bit more interesting and limited. Or there was a Gucci edition Cadillac. There was I forget the other brands. They partner up with different car companies to come out with either like a bespoke interior or some kind of trim package, on the car. But I still own that Jeep, and actually have vowed to give it to one of my daughters for her wedding gift to her and her husband. So it's gonna be in October, and
so you have a few more months with the Jeep.
Yeah. Don't worry, I will feel it a little bit, but it's in the family, and she's honestly the one that she has the most memories, that the most core memories of riding around in it and stuff. She's the one that's most deserving to get.
Is this your oldest daughter?
My second oldest daughter. Yeah, she's about 28 now. And her husband to be is a avid, outdoor off-roader. He's got a 4Runner that he's got all tricked out for camping and stuff like that. So this is a perfect complement to that. Perfect match. So no problem letting that one go. I have other Jeeps, to cure my itch, whenever I have it. So it'll be fine.
So you've probably seen a good portion buff. I'd say all the cars in the world. Safe to say.
Yeah,
You know, because you've been longer and out of things. You've seen a lot of cars.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, absolutely.
Is there any that you're looking forward to seeing this week coming up that you've never seen before?
There's one thing that they do out in Pebble Beach, right near the Golf Pro Shop. They have one, like, I think it's a putting green that they reserve for a lot of the world debuts of like prototypes, right? And they keep, that's all very under the, like happy stuff that we don't even know what's coming out there.
Right.
And so
They're covered.
yeah, yeah.
Camera crews come out.
And that's always a really interesting event to go to.
What day is that?
I don't know if they uncover them by Friday or Thursday, but I know on Sunday they're available to see.
Okay, so you're looking forward to seeing something that you don't even know what it is, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, as long as I've been off and on with being interested in cars, it never ceases to amaze me. Like going to any show that we have, especially here in Texas, just a local Cars and Coffee. The stuff that shows up there is absolutely off the hook amazing. I mean, and sometimes it'll catch you off guard. Like you don't realize how rare. You start looking at a car, holy cow! Like that's a retired race car from the '70s, and this guy's got a license plate on it, and he's driving it to Cars and Coffee. I think that's so cool.
Yeah. Speaking of Cars and Coffee, what's your favorite meetup in the Greater Austin?
There's one every Sunday morning. They have it every Sunday, and you'd think people would get kind of burnt out on it. But it's Morning Motors. A couple of my Porsche friends.
The coffee shop?
They do it it's at the corner of Anderson Lane and Mopac.
That's what he posts.
Yeah, exactly. I try to post it every Friday or Saturday just to promote it.
Yeah.
Flora Coffee, I think, is the name of the coffee shop. And the parking lot usually gets pretty much, I mean, even with the heat, they've moved it up or an hour, to 8, from 9 to 8 o'clock to try to beat some of the heat. But people are still out there by, 10:30 or 11, just hanging out and talking. And there's always something, like that's one of them where there's always something interesting that I've never seen before, that'll show up. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff, something tells me that you and I could talk for about 6 more hours with cars.
Absolutely.
Man, this is so awesome.
Yeah.
But we got a switch, my friend.
Yeah.
It's time to go. This is the first time we're getting Corvette.
What?
Yeah.
Are you
You're
kidding?
the first vet guy.
Well, I was kind of anxious about it because, the funny thing about this particular car is they're very common in stock, form. In stock form, they're fairly common, but this one is one of 7 Pratt and Miller Corvettes that were modified by Pratt and Miller, the factory race team for GM for the Corvette program.
Is that up? Where'd they do that?
I don't know where they're headquartered, but they've been involved with the factory program for the Corvettes, I think, since the early 2000s. Nice. The C5s and moving up through the C8s that they race currently. This particular one is the 7th one of 7 that they built. It's the only one in red. I never thought, again, I saw one years ago at a race, and it was I don't want to get beat up by the Corvette guys. It's either Velocity Yellow or it's the racing yellow that they use on the race cars. Okay. And most of them were done in that color, and this one was one of them. And if you don't know, or if you know, and when you walk by the car, it's like, it just looks like another Z06, but then there's these gills on the fenders, and it looks wider, and you're like, well, hold on, this isn't a stock one. And then it's got an 8.2 liter, emblem on the hood, and
what?
And yeah, you start looking, it's like, okay, well, it's not stock, so what is it? And so like that kind of thing is, like I brought it to Cars and Coffee, and again, everybody, kind of flocked to it because they're like, okay, this isn't a regular, C6 Corvette.
No.
So,
and Tim, in case you're wondering what 8.2 liter means, so those big F350 pickup trucks? like the really big ones, those are like a 6.2 liter engine. Okay, so they're pretty big engines. Yeah. Okay, this thing's got an 8.2. 8.2.
So take another 2 liter out of a Honda Civic, and put it on top of that, and you got the motor that's in. Yeah. Okay. And a car that's a lot lighter than the original because they put all carbon fiber panels from the actual race car.
Serious.
So it's a lot.
It's
a 2007, I believe.
Carbon fiber.
Yeah. Yeah. What they did was they offered it from, I think, 07 or 08. They basically offered out to the public. They said, hey, bring us your bring us your Corvette, the Z06, if you have one on order. If you've got one that you just recently took, give it to us in X amount of dollars and turn it into a factory race car that you can drive on the street.
And we did it for 7 people.
They only had 7 orders. I guess it's an unfortunate thing because it makes them hard to get like as far as like finding one available.
Yeah.
But it makes them kind of rare. I mean, I was really lucky to pick this one up at auction for, I think, about what it would have sold for, maybe a little bit less, for just the cost of converting it into what it is now. So, really happy about that. I mean, I never thought, you see something like that and you're like, wow. I mean, maybe one day you put it out there and you say, maybe I will get one day, and then you have those goals you look for. And, got that one like literally this year. And it wasn't, there's some things like you were asking earlier, like things that I'm looking for long term, that I don't own yet. I mean, even a Volkswagen thing that I saw y'all have parked outside is like, it's one on the bucket list, right? It's not for any other particular reason except one of the reasons being I used to ride to school with a friend of mine, and her father gave it to her, and it was a little yellow one, and just riding, it was like, what is this thing? And she's like, that's exactly what it is. It's a thing. It's a Volkswagen thing. There you go. So yeah, it's this particular Corvette, I think typically they would be around the 505 horsepower range. This one's about 600 and about 600 foot-pounds of torque. It's 1.5 inches to 2 inches wider. It sits lower, better brakes. Everything that basically that particular generation of Corvettes, they're good around the track. We were talking about that earlier, maybe for 2 or 3 laps, but not really for extended, driving sessions. This particular one, with all of the modifications from a shop, builds them from the factory, as a race car, would be a lot better capable right off right out the chute, taking it to Circuit of the Americas and go see what it does.
That is a big benefit if that's what you like to do.
Sure.
Yes. Yeah. And this is actually, I just heard about car manufacturers doing this yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Ford has the SVT stuff, like a Ford Focus SVT, right? If you get for $5,000, you can get the Ford Maverick, their pickup truck.
Yep.
SVT, $5,000 for the parts.
Yep.
And then $5,000 for installation.
Mm-hmm.
But you get like way more horsepower, right? You get all the track focus improvements on it. And I didn't know that manufacturers did this.
Just don't whisper to me that they're offering it in a manual. If they are, I'm going to have to go look at one.
You got to check.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, I have a friend, I have a dear friend that has one, and a little Maverick truck, and she loves it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're basically Ford Focuses underneath. So that's why there's all these parts that are interchangeable and available. No, I love that. I love that they're offering that because, again, that helps people to personalize their transportation instead of being, part of the whole blended crowd of mundane things that are going to end up being on the street. Kind of like giving yourself an identity. The car used to be more identifiable, I feel like, as a family thing, right? They would be in the pictures, when they go on trips, that kind of thing. And I don't feel like people look at the car as being part of the family anymore. I know that sounds weird. It's not like it has a heartbeat, but it's really true. It's like,
what do you think about that?
Yeah.
The cars been a part of family?
Yeah.
I think they were. For me growing up, my dad's 4Runner family, then my dad's 750 Li.
Yeah.
Because even like the memory we had, the merch of the
Right.
car.
Yeah. It's a great way to build the memories of the things you go and do together.
Mm-hmm.
And quite honestly, because my memory's so bad, I chronologically stamp things. If I don't remember exactly what year, I try to go, okay, what was I driving back then? And I could remember that, but I can't remember the actual data.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I timestamp it with the car.
Do you have a catalog with every car you've owned?
You know,
Google Doc or something?
no,
I do.
I'm not what you would call an OCD type of person.
Okay, I am.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
okay, right.
That's a great. I wish I would have done that. I had an individual years ago that used to come hang out at the shop, and this gentleman loved to take photos with Polaroids, and he would go and take a select number of Polaroids of each one of my cars, and that's about as good of a history, a historical reference that I would have based on when I, as early as 11, when I started, the dealerships, stuff and cars started rolling in and out. But I really do need to have like a solid one place, where I have at least one photo of everything I ever drove. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like even the first one, which was absolutely terrible, but my dad was right on every regard to give it to me. It was an ex-company car that one of the salespeople, used. 79 Ford LTD, 2-door. Because we didn't need 4 doors on the salesperson's car. It was a strip. I mean, it had AM radio, vinyl, navy green seats, and it was light green on the outside. My sister called it the chartreuse mousse. And I couldn't do anything to make me love that car. I put police hubcaps on it, thinking that would make it look cooler. It did, but not by much. Not enough to have people want to go on, movie dates with me.
Oh.
But, that was the first, but I drove it thing into the ground and, wrecked it twice, like within a year. So he was right on every regard. He puts me into something, with any power at all, I'm going to get in trouble. So
Smart.
It was smart. It was smart on his part. But looking back, it's like it left me with so many good memories. I mean, I remember we bolted a set of mud tires on the back of it just to get a friend of mine's pickup truck unstuck. I bet him, and I was like, I bet I could pull that out with my car. And we had the same bolt pattern wheels, that we could put on it. Threw them on the back, and that car got this truck out of the mud. It was pretty funny.
Jeff's a car guy.
Yeah. Yeah, my brother references it as the mad car disease. We all infected by it.
I'll take it. Hey,
Yeah.
I'll have that in anything else.
Absolutely, yes, yes.
Well, Jeff, let's go have some fun. Let's go get some sunshine.
Perfect. Let's do it.
Your little red Corvette.
Yep.
Does it have a name?
So it's kind of funny. If a car comes to me and it doesn't have a name yet, sometimes we'll come up with one.
Yeah.
But sometimes people actually have named their cars in the past. I've nicknamed this one Mistress.
Mistress.
This was actually a car that was originally owned by an individual who would have the car brought out for track days, would go out and enjoy it. And he always had this nice lady with him. Everybody assumed it was his wife. It wasn't.
Ooh.
And the wife, found out. Yeah. The wife found out about it. And part of the stipulation of the divorce was that he has to sell the car and he can never own it, until he's completely divorced from her. Maybe he can find it later, whatever.
Wow.
Now, I don't know.
Juicy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Juicy.
So I think the Mistress would be a good name for it. Yeah.
The lady
Yeah.
red. Mhm.
But if you look at it closely, you can kind of see the weave in the carbon fiber here
Oh.
in the actual race panels
Yeah. Sure can.
that they have.
So they did this, and what else did they do?
Of course, the 8.2 liter.
Yup.
Typically, these
Oh.
would be a 7 liter, which is still a really good size.
Yeah.
I think it's about 427 maybe
Golly.
cubic inches.
Look at this spec. It's beautiful.
and,
It's got the carbon fiber on the front.
Yep.
Oh my.
K-Tech does the motors for the race program also.
This is a 2007.
It's 2007. Yeah.
Looks brand new.
Yeah, I think this one, and that's the other thing too. I don't like things that have like a few hundred miles on them after 30 years. I'd want something with a few thousand. This one's got 14,000 miles on it.
Okay.
And honestly, it was kind of in the right place at the right time. Again, randomly glancing at things and glancing at an email and finding out that this was coming up for auction, I was like, well, I guess we're going to be registering to see if we can win it. And really happy. I've been really happy with the car so far. When things get built by a professional organization like Pratt and Miller, you're just not going to have the typical problems that you'd have when you're modifying a car. There's so many things that they've touched on the car. You know, the fact that they've all done it and you get it done in one shop and they know the car. I could call them up tomorrow if I needed something for it. Really? They know the car.
Right. That's helpful.
Yeah, it is, because you don't want to own something, one of 7, and not be able to, repair it, fix it, keep it up.
And this is the badge here.
Yeah, that's number 7. Yeah.
Wow.
So this is I believe this is the individual we were talking about earlier.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like I said, it was something that came to me, and I'm really happy to own it. Will I own it forever? I don't know. A lot of times I feel like there definitely is a few more things that I'd like to, own.
Like one of those.
I still need a thing in my life, and I'll tell you what,
They might trade you.
Yeah, I'm sure they would. No, but yeah, historically, I've never kept anything forever. That Jeep I had for a long time, and there's other ones that I've actually bought back.
Right.
Because there's some seller's remorse to some of them. But in the words of Ramsey Gort, a couple of friends of mine, Potts, he said, you can always find another one, and he's right. There's a lot of things out there that I've never seen before that, and some things that I've cycled through or seen, and I'm like, it didn't fit me then, but maybe it'll fit me now. Right. Like different styles of cars, maybe more like cruisers that I wasn't into because I was into the high speed cornering stuff, and now I might be willing to settle down a little bit. I think I've got like 5 or 6 pickup trucks, but and half of them have bench seats, which I think is the coolest thing ever invented.
It is cool.
You have to have the bench seats. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because if the girl doesn't want to sit right next to you, all you gotta do is make a really hard right turn.
Come over here, babe.
You just make a hard right and just
whoops.
They just slide right up into you.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, let's go. We'll go stretch the legs on this thing. We'll see what it's made of.
Let's try it out.
All right.
Go for it. So, okay, push the little button there. Nice. Easy. Got the leather here, and then suede in the seats.
Yeah, they do. Okay. They do a little bit of customization on the interior, aside from what the stock car would have.
And you got the bows here. Minimalist. What is this for?
That's to open the door.
Get out the door.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm not a big fan of any of the electronic stuff like that, but they have the backup handle down here if on the right side.
Okay, just like I got it.
To manually open the door if the electronics fail.
Yep. 6-speed manual. And then what do these do?
So this is something that they've done the center console, I believe, in this carbon also, aside from the regular cars, but this here is similar to the nose lift system on the Porsches.
Oh,
it'll lift the whole car up because it is sitting lower than a stock Z06 with the exhaust and everything. So this will pick it up over, curbs or something. Right, it just raises the whole car.
Okay.
And then there's a park option. I could show you whenever we park. If it doesn't sit low enough, you can actually
Really?
When you get to the show, you can actually drop it down.
Like that stuff.
Right, yeah,
That's
just
cool.
like an Easter egg kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So pretty cool.
And this is original. This came with it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And actually, the fun part, I always look for a CD or a, in it. This one did have one, with like mix. It was almost like a mixtape of songs.
That one in there?
Yeah, that it had in there. I've got it out right now, but.
Yeah. Oh. Sounds amazing.
Yeah, I've always loved the C6 Z06s. They are a bit soft sprung from the factory.
Yep.
So, the perfect Z06 for me would have been pretty much exactly how this one was built. It's all done. The suspension, the brakes, you know, they've addressed pretty much everything that I would have wanted to make the car, you know, better. And even when it was, you know, not now, but when it was purchased, they offered warranty on, you know, 12-month warranty on the motor and the transmission and all that stuff.
Oh, good. Do they miss anything at all?
No, I mean, honestly, there's really nothing else that I would have done to improve it.
Not
you know?
one thing.
No.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, it's as... yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
There's nothing like a built LS.
God, that was just thundering punchy,
Yeah.
baby. God. Oh.
And the good part is, you know, like, unlike the stock ones out on track, you know, you can really work these things pretty hard for a good 30 minutes, you know, 25, 30-minute session, and they're not going to give up.
God.
Yeah.
You have cup holders.
Yeah.
That Revuelto in the shop has no cup holders.
Porsche was like that for a while, and they finally,
Yeah, a little dinky
you know,
thing right there.
Yep. They finally figured out where to hide one.
What's your favorite thing about this car if you were to pick one thing?
I have a few cars that I love to get in and drive,
Yup.
and then they're miserable to try to get out of. You know, falling into them is easy, and then, like, I tell people, like, some of my cars, I feel like I'm having a baby, except I'm the baby. Like, I'm just trying to get out. Like, ah!
Yeah, they're so bucketed.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this one a lot like the 911s, even though it sits lower and all that stuff. It's fairly easy to get in and out of.
Yeah.
You know, like if I want to go run errands, and the clutch isn't. I don't know what they did with the clutch system, but it's not heavier than, you know what I mean? Like it's going to be a little bit heavier of a clutch because it's got to have a little bit more biting power. The clutch is, you know, fairly easy to manipulate.
Oh, man.
The suspension's tighter, but it doesn't beat you up. But really, oh, okay, here we go.
Caught it. Let's go, baby. Oh, my.
Yeah, it doesn't stop pulling.
Whoa.
But
Whoa.
no.
That is wonderful. Cars are the best. Yeah. To my understanding, the Corvette enthusiasts,
Mm-hmm.
they like the front engine. Is it?
Yeah,
Tell
so
me about that. 'Cause
yeah,
you know
that's
it's a hot topic.
Yeah, that strikes a nerve with me too. I from the get-go, I originally understood that they were going to continue to build both.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to keep the old platform, the front engine, and then they were going to have the mid engine.
Did somebody tell you?
I thought I saw an article or a news, thing that they were going to build them, parallel to each other. I didn't know if that meant they were going to keep them in production with each other for a period of time or whatever. But I was all for moving forward with, a mid-engine Corvette. Over the years, if you go back historically, they were looking at a rotary powered mid-engine Corvette for a minute. It's always, for the highest, I guess the best performance on track, that's pretty much where you want the weight. But for me, I don't like when a car company goes against the tradition of the original design of the car.
Right.
Like maybe just come out with a completely different car if you want to build something that's Corvette-ish.
Yeah.
And rename it something else.
Yes.
Then
they should have named the new one something
that's
else.
just how I feel. I do. I'm more of a traditional.
It's not a Corvette.
Correct. I don't feel they're great. From what I hear, they're absolutely wonderful.
A little big.
And they're just not for me.
No.
That's the only thing. It's not something I don't think I would ever want to circle around to own. This is all the Corvette I need.
And this is amazing.
Yeah.
And the air conditioning is nice and cool.
Yeah, thank goodness. Yeah, hot rod, cool car. That's kind of my theme nowadays. I'm like, first thing I ask about a car, if I like it, I'm like, does it have AC?
Yeah.
And does it work really well? I'll still get stuff that doesn't have AC, but you can't enjoy it year round. That's the only downside to that.
And you said 470 before. What were you talking about?
On the
motor.
Oh, on this one?
Yeah.
It's originally was 505 horsepower. It's a 7-liter.
Okay.
And now it's 600, a little over 600 horsepower and 600 foot-pounds of torque.
Dang.
Yeah, it's a lot. it's a lot, but it's not. They could have built it with more.
Yeah.
It's literally, I think, just the right amount of power. Because when you start making a lot more than that, it's gonna overheat. It's gonna give you drivability. You know what I mean? People can brag about 1,000 horsepower car, but they're not gonna be able to drive it like you drive this one. You know, more normally. You know, I like stuff that are more drivable.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
important because that's the whole point. You have a car.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow, Jeff, this is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
This
Thank
is
you
such
so
a
much.
Cool car, man.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's a good one. It really is.
107. How
One
fun.
of 7.
Yeah,
Yeah,
awesome.
7's always been a good number. Yeah, it was at. I hate to say if it was either an RM Sotheby's or Gooding, one of the auction houses I've dealt with before.
Right.
And what's really nice is you can call them. They'll give you an honest opinion on what's the tire wear look like, what's the overall condition look like, and then there's other people that are at the auctions. You'll meet some of them if we get together over Monterey Week, but guys that fly around the country and just go look at cars. That's all they do. And one of them that actually looked at my Mira for me. He's a good friend of mine. He does those kind of evaluations and then I had another friend particularly look at this one to see if it was, no red flags per se, you know, to keep me,
Because where was this one?
I have to go back and look. I don't think it was at Amelia, but I could be wrong. It might have been Amelia. It might have been the Amelia auction.
Where do they host that?
It's over in north of Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay.
It's in March. I think it's around March, first weekend of March. They do a Concours event there.
Yep.
Goodings has an auction there. Broad Arrow has their auction there too. I think it came out of there, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But really glad to be the next caretaker of it for sure. The mistress. Hopefully we'll get it out at COTA, one of the track days before they shut down. Because I'd really love to take it around Circuit of the Americas. See what yeah.
If you because I'm part of Fastlane.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Yeah.
Brad Epstein's a member and stuff, and
Yeah.
get you in there.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
That'd be wonderful.
Well, wow, this has been amazing. Any if you were going to talk to your younger self
Mm-hmm.
today, is there any piece of advice that you tell you?
Take care of your back. My dad used to tell me to sit up straight.
Health is wealth, right?
I was an IT manager for years, and sitting at a terminal, hunched over a long period of time was not very good for my back. And my oldest brother too, he was the best at taking care of his body through his age. And I had a period of time where I was a little overweight, and it's really important. Like, your health is everything. Like it really is like something I wish I would have done a little bit better. I'm being better at it now than I was any period of time ahead of, or before. I'm taking better care of myself now, and which means I get to enjoy these much longer, which is good. Yeah.
Hey, it's impossible to do life perfect.
Yeah.
So again, what Jeff said, health is wealth. Take care of yourselves, okay?
Yeah.
Because there's no point in having all this stuff and whatever if you can't enjoy it.
That is correct. That is correct.
Yep. So work hard, but also be safe.
Yes.
And
Yes.
most importantly, go follow Jeff on Instagram at Mosing
Motor Cars.
Motor
Yep.
Cars.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Check them out, y'all. Thanks again. Make sure to hit that subscribe, smash that thumbs up. And most importantly, number 2, stay fired up. See y'all next time.
Ciao.
Bye.